Welcome to the world of stand-up. We're live. What's up, Robby?
What's up, Bryce?
It's been a minute. We've been trying to get you in here.
I know, man. Super busy.
You were super busy. You were flying all over the place, and now all of a sudden you got some time, so thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
We were, before we started rolling, we were just talking about how, what's up with white girls needing dreads, because they don't. We talked about how Boulder sucks. Boulder, Colorado is a place you don't want to visit.
Facts.
Yeah. Thanks for coming to the podcast, guys. This has been really fun. This is my friend Robby Ferrell. I want to give you a shout out, dude. You're the guy that did this.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I had to look at his naked ass.
I was going to ask you, dude, how homoerotic was that for you when you were like lacquering over my sculptured abs while I'm just cupping my clearly very cold unit in that point?
Very small cold unit?
Well, it's cold because it's, I'm a grower, not a shower.
Okay. Got you.
So there's that. How's it going, man?
It's good, man.
Yeah.
It was a cool piece to do. Definitely different because I'm used to like the canvas painting stuff,
Yeah.
So it was cool to do something a little unique,
Well, dude, we got another one coming. You're going to do another one for this back wall.
3 times the size?
Yeah,
4 times?
it's going to be sideways and take the whole thing. And
Yeah.
little spaceship thing going on there. Little
Spaceship vibes.
intergalactic planetary, as they say.
Whole nother universe you'll be in.
Yeah. Bro, did you...
Yes, bro, I'm telling you.
Do you get high when you paint?
Sometimes, yeah, for sure.
How do you not do that?
Dude, it's actually quite nice. Like, especially this, like I had to, dude. I had
So
to look
you
at
were
your,
looking
I had to
at
look
my
at
body
your
high while you
I was like, bro, it's like, this is weird, man.
Yeah.
No,
They
it's
say imagine people naked when you're doing the hard things in
I was
your
like,
life.
this guy's actually naked. the final piece, I did everything and I was like, dude, where the hell is this piece gonna go?
You put that on last?
Yeah. Because I was like, dude, I had to blow it up. I was like, I had to get this bigger. I made every other piece pretty small.
You had to get this bigger. That's a very
well, like on the pod, I wanted everybody to see it,
Yeah.
And plus, it was the last picture that you sent me. You sent me all of them. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was like a joke.
All of the
too.
shows and everything. And then I was like, oh, shit.
Well, now knowing after
was like,
the
was this
fact,
supposed
I
to go to
probably
his
should have sent
wife?
you more pictures. Like, come to think of it.
Like that? The naked ones?
No. I mean, I guess. But those aren't fit for TV, as they say. I love this like thing with the cigars and the lacquer and stuff. That's dope. But so anyway, how do you say your last name? Ferrell?
Ferrell. Will Ferrell.
Will. Robby. Will. Is your name William?
No.
Oh, so
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah. 2 last names.
So Robinson Ferrell.
Yeah.
That's kind of dope, actually.
Yeah, people get confused.
Are you sure you're not an R&B singer from the 60s?
I could be.
Coming to the stage, Robinson Ferrell in the Ferrell 5.
I don't know if that would flow with the hair,
Of course it would, dude.
Would it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's clearly a black guy's name.
In Boulder, right?
Yeah.
No,
No.
Not in
Like,
Boulder.
no, Robinson Ferrell, dude, that's a total black guy's name. You know that, right?
Is it?
That sounds like a black guy's
I
name.
guess. It could be.
Yeah. Are you black at all? Do you have any, like, little bit in you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. You have a unique sort of look. What's your...
So there's like, it's like, I don't know, there's like a tiny bit of English, Italian in the heritage, but
Okay.
mainly
So
just a
like,
white guy.
Just like a mutt?
Yeah.
It's got all the...
It's got a mix of
Just
everything.
a European mutt?
Yeah.
A little German, a little Italian, a little,
Yeah.
Portuguese in there,
Dude, it's funny because I did door-to-door sales for a long time, and every time, like, it was a new conversation. Like, what's your ethnicity? Like, you look like so-and-so. You look like this. You look Arabic. And I was like, whoa, yo, chill. You look Hispanic.
Is there a problem being Arabic? Are you saying?
No, I
are
was
you
just
making
saying-
this claim about that?
No,
You
I was
need
just
to work
saying
on
it's all like, it's all different,
here? Yeah.
Every conversation would be something new. So I'd be like, all right, man, take
Dude,
it all.
Okay, I gotta tell you the story because you just reminded me of this. I kind of hope that you did this when you were doing door-to-door sales, but I don't know if you did. So a couple months ago, my wife and I were in Las Vegas, and we were walking through the Fashion Show Mall, which, if you know anything about the Strip, it's the mall that's right across the street from the Wynn. Okay, that big one that has like the spaceship disc on it and everything. It's a great mall. And we were walking by, and they have all these kiosks in the middle that they're selling shit, right? And this guy, heavy Arab accent. Hey, come here, I need to show you. Like he's like, you guys are perfect for this, and he's like showing. He's like, you need a protector for yours. And we're talking like full Arab, dude. Like, and I can't do a very good Arab accent, but like I was
Just the whole time.
the whole time. Oh boy, and I'm like, this fucking guy, dude. Like, I was
Yeah.
not into it because, like, you know, those kiosk salespeople, like, they get aggro.
Oh yeah,
They're almost
They go
like
to
the
town, man.
people in Vegas that are handing out the porn. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Hey, you want some porn?" Like,
yeah.
on the
Hit
strip.
the strip. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. So this guy, oh, come on, or whatever.
Yeah.
And Amy buys into it. We're like, get the Jamba Juice, and the thing is right there, right? And Amy's like, I'm like, what the fuck? No. She goes to do this, right?
Yeah.
So I get our Jamba Juices that we had ordered, and I head over there, and I'm like, I'm kind of annoyed, and I go, so what are you trying to sell, man? And he had a Brooklyn accent. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm like, wait. You don't sound. He's like, yeah, I just do that to get you over here.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, bro, that's awesome. He's like, oh, I know, man. It's great. Like, people just think, they look at me and they're like, are you Jafar from Aladdin? Because that's what the guy kind of looked like.
Did you say that a lot of people buy into it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
That's
dude. He's
awesome.
like, it works perfectly because he's like, I don't know if it's like some sort of like white guilt thing.
Yeah.
But like, people don't like saying no to Arabs.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, you saucy motherfucker, dude. You were just, he's like, hey, I got to sell.
Total opposite.
I'm like, bro, I'm buying
Regulation.
whatever you're selling me right now, dude. And I bought like $200 worth of stuff from him.
Yeah, we definitely would do that. We would do like competitions, is like stuff like that, like different accents. In sales, just like, why not? We just had fun with it sometimes. But yeah, I could definitely say I've done it.
Well, here's the funny thing. We saw him again,
Yeah.
like when we went back to Vegas a couple months after that. And I'm like, my brother. And he's like, hey. And
Do you
like,
remember?
he remembered me, dude. And like, I gave him a hug. And I'm like, you still out here hustling, bro? He's like, yeah, man, every day.
That's sweet,
It
man.
was dope.
I love it.
So you recently had a change, like you're full independent like artist now.
Yeah. So I was working with a specific CEO for a while, just doing specific work. It's really cool, super fun, a lot of growth in it. And I was kind of dabbling with art, film photography, kind of a mix of everything with it.
Yeah.
But I kind of saw like the growth with my personal stuff. And I was like, I'm just going to go all independent and just kind of do the stuff that I want to do more than like, you know, monotonous having to do certain things. So,
Yeah. Well, it's
fun
always
like that.
different when you're your own boss, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. Like, you're my second artist I've had on the show. I had our friend Scott Travis on here.
Shout out to Scott.
Scott's the man, dude.
Go.
Like, I love the example that he's setting for guys like you that are young artists, because like he basically breaks it down and says like it's a business, and if you approach it like this, you can actually make a living and a good living.
Yeah, well, he was the one that pushed me because I kind of put art on the back burner for a bit. And then I met Scott like this last year, and he actually commissioned me to do a piece for him. He's like, dude, if you love it, man, like go do it. And like he didn't have to do that. Like, you know, he's an artist himself.
Yeah.
He could have created his own pieces. But he pushed me to start doing that again. So I did a piece for him, and then I started, you know, reaching out to people and got different gigs, you know, Ryan Flint, yourself, other people.
Yeah.
So it was cool, and I was just like, okay, there's some cool potential here. So just going, man.
Yeah. So when did you first realize that that was something that you had a talent for?
So I grew up, like, my dad drew a little bit, so he's a dentist, but I think that's kind of where I got a little bit of the creativity. He dabbled in it, but I've always just been a fan of art, like since like middle school. I would take like all the extra classes. I did all the sports, I did everything else, but I was always like super passionate, and I would always just create stuff like all the time. And then it led into, you know, high school, and it's funny because, you know, I'm 6'4", and everybody's like, oh, you play basketball and that? And I'm like, nah, man, I like to draw pictures and paint. So I just kind of got into it more and more, and it's just been a passion like my whole life. But then I got into other business ventures and kind of put it in the back burner for a while. And then I realized, like, okay, I really like fuck with this. I don't want to, you know, bring it back into my life. So I've always just, growing up, it was always some business thing. Like middle school, for example, I'd take like pieces of paper, and I used to like street tags, so like graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of where like the, you know, different crazy vibes and colors come in with my art. And I would sell them to you because I lived in Alpine. I was like, oh, these
Alpine,
rich,
Utah?
yeah, all
Okay.
these rich Alpine kids, you know, their parents got the money. So it would take me 20 minutes. I'd sketch out your name, make it cool, like graffiti colors, and then I'd like pitch it to you in middle school. Get like $60 out of it. Like, yo, man, like, let me do your name.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
better
I
than
got the
selling
money.
dime bags to those kids, man.
Yeah. It was sweet. So I hustled with that, and then just throughout middle school, high school, I just kept doing it, man. So it was fun.
That's sweet, dude.
Yeah.
So you're in your mid-20s, right?
25. Yeah.
25, okay. So that's quite a bridge, though, from like 16, 17 to now.
Yeah.
So take me through those years. Like what, Because I know that you have a really, I've seen your work as a videographer and as an editor.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like,
Appreciate
it's really,
that.
like, I can tell that you're a creative guy with how you vision that. But that's a different skill set than,
Right.
like, sitting in front of a campus and going, like,
Yeah.
how do I, create this thing in my mind and then put it on the the palette here, the canvas. How did you merge those two things?
Yeah, so high school came around, playing sports. I was kind of just doing all of it. And I was taking college art classes. And I was like, I want to, continue this. And so my goal was to try to get a scholarship with it, which most people that are doing sports in my height are like trying to get some athletic scholarship. But I was like, no, man, let's do some art, And so I pushed myself more. And I got a scholarship down at like Snow College in Ephraim. And
For art?
For art, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I ended up going down there. It's like the last school that like hit me up. I like reached out to all the schools in Utah. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. Middle of nowhere, man. Freaking, you got sheep crossing the roads. You got one street light. There's one gas station that's open 24/7. Like nothing down there. So I was like, bro, what is this? It's like my high school.
Tractor racing?
Yeah, tractor racing. Had nothing down there. It's funny. Cowboy hats. I'm like, all right, that's not my vibe, but let's do it. So I went down there, and then I took like a basic film photography class just for fun, just as another credit. And then I kind of saw that I liked it. I've always loved like music videos and movies and TV shows and just the creative process behind that. Mm-hmm. And there's a director, his name's Cole Bennett. He does a lot of like the hip hop artists, and he's my age, and he directs for like big artists like Lil Yachty. He's done stuff for Drake and just big music artists. And so I started seeing that creative side of me come out, and that's kind of how it merged from taking a class from school that I didn't like expect that I would do more of it. And then from that, I ended up doing 4 years in sales. So it was always this back and forth game. I'd go sell for the summer, and then that money and that saving up, I would do the creatives during the winter. And then art ended up being pushed on the back burner until, this last year. And I was like, wanted to get back into it. So it's kind of the whole wrap on the last few years of my life.
That's dope, dude. So do you plan on incorporating your skills with video into the promotion of your art?
Yeah. So that's a big thing. I'm building out my garage right now for like an art studio, and I want to set up like lighting and cameras, and now utilize my skill set that I've been able to learn a ton about in the last few years to create now these cool videos of like the steps of my art, talking about it, what it takes to do it, just the process of it.
Dude, that's one of the things that I think a lot of creatives overlook when it comes to the power that social media has to help promote their work, is that people are less interested in the final product if they don't know the story of the person who created it.
Right.
So we have a very voyeuristic society that we're in right now. People want to look behind the scenes and see under the dress and want to know all the little different nooks and crannies of what's going on to that. And I've watched Scott succeed with this. I'm watching you do it, where you create somewhat of like a docu-style rendering of the creative process that lets people see the before and after, that really, ups the value of what you're creating.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, people want that. It's like anything else. Like, I'm big on watching like documentaries, and I just watched the Steve Jobs movie that they created last night.
This is the one with Ashton Kutcher in it, that one? Okay.
And it's just cool to see that, because people see, just like you said, that they see the end result, but it's cool to see those baby steps of like the time it takes, the effort it takes, the thinking process, the constant failures, and over and over again to create something like that.
Well, you're creating a charismatic character, as they say in literature. Yeah. It's like I've incorporated that style into how I've been doing my own content relative to comedy. Here in Utah, we have a great comedy scene, but if I'm really hustling, I can't get on stage more than, 3 or 4 times a week, maybe. And that's suboptimal conditions, Wise Guys Comedy downtown has 2 open mics a week, and those open mics are great. If you just so happen to be able to get on weekend shows, you get, real sets in front of real comedy crowds. And that really does help you flesh out your material and learn how to write and perform better. Right. But it's not ideal. It's not like you're in LA and you can do 3 a night type thing, And so I've had to kind of tell the story behind the scenes and let myself and who I am and how I show up be the draw, if you will, or that's the intention and the goal. And then have the comedy be the thing that I do that like keeps you coming back because it's fun and funny.
Right.
And I think that for the longest time I'd struggled with how to incorporate like my more success-based sort of vibe when I'm like, this is how you do it. This is the things I've learned. These are things that are important to me. If you do this, you'll get a better result. You know, I'm clearly somebody that cares about fitness. I care about, you know, making money. I care about good relationships and, you know, making sure we're doing purpose-filled activities. That doesn't sound very funny though. So to be able to like share that aspect with the juxtaposition of like my jokes and my stand-up and them seeing that I love being a silly goose, I think that's allowed me to create things more quick when it comes to a fan base and kind of how, you know, the draw that I have because I can sell tickets and whatnot. And I love watching that happen with other creatives because comedy's a creative pursuit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's performative. You know, you doing art or film. You know, our mutual friend Conan, our executive producer over here, he does the same thing. It's like you get into this place where you can, as you tell your story about your content as your content as well, you can't lose.
Right. Yeah.
You've had the camera. You've been behind the camera for a lot of like really influential like people and a lot of things. Like, what has been some of the takeaways you've learned in that storytelling process?
I'd say the biggest thing because I was talking to my boy Vinny about this the other night, and I'd say the biggest takeaways from just like this last year with all these people is just figuring it out. Because there's a lot of things in life that just shit happens, and it's just the name of the game. And I think it's realizing that you have control over that you can, if something's not working or you're unsure about it, it's the two routes. Okay, you got to sit there and bitch and cry about it, or you got to like get up and actually make stuff happen. So I feel like for me, the biggest thing is just always constantly growing and figuring it out, right? Because in your head, you could be like, I have no idea, man. Like, how do I do that? Or what's this turnout going to be like? And the other people on the other end, like, they won't know it. But it's you going and figuring that out and just growing constantly. And then just working hard to get the job done, regardless. So I feel like those are the two things that it's just throughout my life, it's always just pushed me. Like, no matter what, there's always something that you can do and you can make it happen.
Okay, so what, in your opinion, then, what makes a good piece of content right now?
I think storytelling, like we've been talking about, where there's a purposeful reason behind it, right? So I just got back from Arizona. I went to a speaking event for this lady. She sold her company for $1 billion, cosmetic company. And she was able to teach what she's learned in her business, right? But she walked through this whole process of, you know, different emotions of the crowd of like the excitement at one point, and then she's going through and she's doing this teaching lessons and people are writing stuff down and it's emotional. And so you really can feel the energy switch, right? So I feel like for me, when it comes to creating content, it's where people can have like that feeling and they can be relatable to you, right? There's all the creatives of like, you know, the hype videos and that type of vibe. But I feel like for me, I love creating that storytelling where it's actually relatable to both of us.
So is there some sort of like magic potion with that? Like, how do you do that?
I think it's understanding your audience, like who you're shooting and filming for, right?
Right.
Who, like, understanding, getting on their level, getting to know them, or the event or whatever you're doing. And so it's going in with preparation. You know, like it's the same with like this piece, right? Knowing who you are and what you like and what your vibe is. You know, I wasn't just going to go up and paint something random. Like, we talked about it, we discussed it. Okay,
yeah,
you do comedy, that's your vibe. You like cigars, that's your vibe. You know, this is the name of your podcast. So it's creating the story for you that makes sense.
Me and Conan, we filmed a hype video yesterday that I can't wait for it to come out because I make fun of hype videos in this hype video.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, dude.
I love it.
I think I've it might be out by the time we release this episode.
Okay.
It's the caption's gonna be a day in the life. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome.
Love it.
Because that's been the blessing and the curse of like there's so much good content out there right now.
Yeah.
to where it's really hard to differentiate yourself. Like if you just go and copy the jump cut, sort of slow-mo, whatever of every influencer out there, it's all going to look the same.
Yeah.
So you got to get creative outside of that. And, you know, cameras are amazing nowadays. Like when you have, you know, the Adobe Suites, Logic Pro, and Final Cut, like the software is easy to learn. Like you really have to have a different eye creatively to be able to make stuff that's compelling. And me as a comedian, I'm like, this shit's getting boring, dude. Like I'll see legit people, like I'll see people that I know in real life that have zero cool in them. They are not cool at all.
Yeah.
And they'll do like these like hype videos like there's some baller, and I just laugh at them. I'm like, bro, dude.
Yeah.
I can see you have lint all over your shirt, bro. Like, try harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's 4K. You can just little lint roller.
Adjust it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I had to use me. You know, me and Conan figured it out. We have a good one coming. I'm stoked about it.
It's a little comedy.
Comedy
of the
dude, and I make fun of myself. Is the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, I have those scenes in this video where I'm like, bro, fucking slow mo, and I've got some cool shit. So I'm like, I involve all that in it, and then at the end, it's.
Dude, that's right.
I'm gonna bury the lead. It ends with me farting. I'll put it that way.
so random.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. So
I love it.
But at the same time, like, it might get no views, man. People might be like, they might not get to the end because the first part of it, like, I've seen this one 100 times. Swipe, like,
yeah.
Oh, he's getting out of his car in slow motion. Like,
But people, surprisingly, they eat that up. Like, a lot of people do it.
That's something I've noticed, dude. Like,
people love it.
we live in a very, like, voyeuristic society. Like, when you look around, like, I do this all the time. Like, I look at who's getting engagement and why, and not just, like, well, I need to do this dance to cuff it or whatever. Like the people that have grown massive followings, and I look and, like, how did they do this? Like, what was it that was the missing piece, if you will? And it seems like a majority of the ones that grew organically, meaning they didn't go viral for something or like they got famous for something or whatever, and then that caused it, but like they actually like slow rolled it and grew it. It's because they show everything. They show the good and the bad. They show their philosophy on life. They show their results. They show their take. They give, hot takes on things. They ask questions. They engage. Like, there's this whole sort of process that is really kind of predictable when you get to it, and it makes it, like, I've looked into this, it makes it so that if you gauge the engagement and reaction of who's, with your content, you can kind of read their mind.
Right.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
People want to be entertained more than anything.
Yeah.
Want to be entertained. Like you know this guy, my good friend Sean Whalen talks about that. Like, if you entertain people, game over. Like, they will love you. People are bored. They just, dance for me, Jester. Like, they just want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And if you're like, okay, well, let's do a little.
Let's do a 10-second dance or whatever, yeah.
So, yeah, I think I get in my head too much about that. And then sometimes I don't, and I just let it go, and I do something stupid that doesn't engage at all with anybody. And it's just a learning process. But
and that's like with anything, man. Like, you just got to do it regardless.
You do, huh?
I feel like people, they focus so much on, like, the hype and the virals. And, yeah, whatever, you can try to follow that the best you can. But at the end of the day, man, like, people want to know about you and, like, your story and what you fuck with and, like, how you are personally. You don't always have to copy the norm and, like, I got to do this trend or I got to be like this.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I've always wondered about this because I think I'm right on this, but I don't really have any data to back it up.
Okay.
I think more people follow other people for reasons that they don't like than for reasons they do like. They're like, what's this guy doing? Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
This guy, look at this. And then they're sharing the stuff with their other buddy that hates the guy too.
On it. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I think there's something to that, dude. And I think that the epicenter of that's Twitter.
Yeah.
That's all that you do on Twitter is just talk mess the whole time.
I don't even have Twitter.
You should now.
Should I?
Elon's made it better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's different now. Like,
he brought the sync in. We're good.
Oh, dude, he did bring the sync in. He fact-checked Biden twice so far.
Oh, damn.
So President Biden on his verified presidential account made some like sort of claim, and then Twitter's like,
can't do that.
Actually.
That was pretty good.
Glorious, dude. It's so glorious because before all that, anything that was on that side of the spectrum, Twitter would just be like, yeah, sounds about right. And then if like somebody that was on the other side of the political spectrum would say something, like they were so annoyingly critical to make sure it was exactly nuanced and contextually accurate, and like, well, you see,
Yeah.
and now it's like they're both sides are getting that, and it's just fantastic. Like I legitimately think I got an erection when I saw Biden get fact checked. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening
Twice now.
dude. They said it would happen. It's happening. Oh my gosh, this is so great. What's next?
That's awesome. Yeah, it looks like I'll download Twitter today.
Yeah. Just follow me, D. Bryce Prescott. It's a fun one. I'm trying to figure out how to use that platform because, like, we talk about creative stuff and basically all the kind of bring this, back into the conversation.
Yeah.
Part of everything that you do and that I do and that, things that, whether it be video or painting or podcast or comedy, or whatever, we want to showcase it somewhere.
Yeah.
And social media seems to be the easiest place to do that. So understanding these platforms and how to make them work for you is key.
Right.
And I had written off Twitter a long time ago because it was so blatantly obvious that, like, if you even have a twinge of conservative in your viewpoint, they're just like, they turn down your engagement. They don't care. Like, they shadow ban, all that. And then you get to go, like, I was laughing at this. It's like I go through my feed, and this has changed somewhat a little bit recently, and I would see these people in my feed that I don't follow, that I give two shits about what they say. As a matter of fact, I don't want to see what they say because they're so annoying. Dude, there's this one chick on there that, like, had this whole thread about trans animals. Like, how to know if your puppy is trans. And I'm like, this bitch needs a life, dude. Like, for real. Yeah. She's tweeting all day long. And, like, her ideas are, like, so dumb. She had this game after Elon took it over. And, again, I don't know if this is a parody account because it very well could be, but it doesn't look like it's a parody. That's how you know how tweaked this chick is. Yeah, that you could do because, like, you might have heard of there's an account on Twitter called Tatiana McGrath, and it's this guy, this English dude. He's full troll, but he does it like in a way that's like super like PC and like inclusive and everything, and he's fully trolling, but he convinces people that it's real. This other one, I don't know if it's that thing because. Trans dogs, really? Like, we're going to have a conversation about trans dogs? Like, that's a thing now? And then she had another thing, like, I'm so distraught over Elon buying Twitter that I need a distraction. So in my subtweets, give me a fruit and I'll tell you why it's racist. And, like, people were doing it. She's like, apple. Well, apples are from the thing. And, like, doing this whole thing about why apples are racist and a product of white supremacy because of where they came from. And I'm like, wow. Okay.
The world. That's when you know people going.
My point is like I see all these tweets and I'm like, I don't follow you. I don't want to see what the hell.
You're still seeing it, yeah.
And it's like, they're trying to make everybody see this stuff to make it seem like that's the norm.
Yep.
I started writing these. There's certain topics that I, as a comedian, I'm kind of scared to talk about.
Bring up and talk about.
And like the whole transgender thing is one.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not a dick. Like I recognize that if there was. Can you imagine how bad that would suck to have that be something you'd struggle with? That like you legitimately feel on the inside that your body doesn't represent your actual, like that would be so painful, right? Yeah. And I, as an empathetic person, can understand that if that's a human experience that I don't share with you and that I want to be compassionate for you, okay? But two things. If you're telling me that my 7-year-old knows that they're trans, I'm going to give them the big middle finger because that's bullshit. Right. And then secondly, if like the steps past that, where it's like when because there's like 80 genders or whatever, and some of these genders are like
that was like 100.
Who knows? Could be, dude. Could be. I don't know. They have ones for like dragons and like pixie fairies and like I identify as a pixie fairy and so these are my pixie fairy pronouns. I just painted a dragon,
so I gotta figure out what the gender is then.
Well, you need to if you're gonna be inclusive, bro, because you don't want your painting getting canceled. But the whole point is that like when you get into that realm, it's like, bro, that's some bullshit right there, dude. Yeah. You're not gonna tell me that science can back up psychologically that you're a dragon. Sorry, dude. Oh, you're an elf now? Cool.
Oh, what are you tomorrow?
So that's the part as a comedian. Like I wrote a joke about this because, and this is a true story. Like my daughter, she, they don't live with me. They live in Oregon, and she's a self-described pansexual, which I didn't know what that meant until she told me because pansexual doesn't give you any clues as a word, you know. And she went to prom with this person that was an elf.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is real. It's a true story. And I'm like, elf, huh? So I wrote this whole joke about it. And I was like worried about performing it on stage because I'm like, I didn't want to come across as like a dick or bigot or whatever. But then I was like, I had this come to Jesus point. I'm like, that's up for grabs, bro. I'm not making fun of transgender stuff. Like that's an actual thing that people deal with. But like if you're gonna identify as an elf or a pixie fairy or some dog or some shit, like sorry, dude, you're in my target sites. Like I'm going
after those elves.
Yeah, you need therapy, bro. Like, and by bro, I mean that inclusively to mean all the genders.
So you gonna perform it?
I already have. I did it. I did the set when I opened for Brian Callen a couple months ago.
Oh, you did?
It did well.
Did it?
Yeah.
Cool. So it's in the bag of like to throw out.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to. This will have released the day of, but I'm going to be in LA next week doing a cannabis. I'm doing a feature set, which is 25 minutes at a cannabis show.
Dude.
I get to do comedy for a bunch of stoners, man.
Oh, bro, that's the best combo right there, man.
Yeah, dude. They laugh easy already, man.
Yeah, laugh easy.
The only problem is they don't pay attention that too well.
No.
Hey guys.
Hey, what? Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
I guess it depends what their strand they're smoking, right?
Yeah, but you're heading to FitCon, right? Like you're doing some work, some freelance independent work. So you still do that. So you obviously get paid for your art. Yep. And you get paid a lot, and I know that because I paid you, and I'm like, Jesus, okay. Just kidding.
Well, it worked.
You
got it. Now you get another one.
Well, no, it was the blowy that sealed the deal, dude. So thank you for that. Like, mouth's a mouth. Anyway, so
a mouse.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean to bring that up. That's supposed to stay between us. Anyway, you still do like videography stuff, so you're gonna film a bunch of hot chicks down at FitCon.
Yeah, something like that. So it's fun, man, because ever since I've kind of walked away from being a specific creator for somebody, it's opened the doors a ton, man. Yeah. So a lot of cool gigs. The month is already getting really busy, so it's fun to kind of do what you want when you want. So be versatile. And
what would you say your biggest challenge is in that world of being an independent like filmmaker / content creator?
I would say just not getting complacent and like lazy with yourself.
Okay, but that's a challenge that you would face regardless. I'm talking about like in that industry.
I'd say comparison game, that can be difficult.
Okay, but again, that's for you. Like you compare. When you show up in that world, what are misconceptions or beliefs the people that are going to pay you have about what you do relative to price and time frame and scope and all? Like what are the times where you're sitting in front of somebody and they're going, hey bro, can you do this? And you go, do you even know what you're talking about? Like what are the challenges that if you could educate your client, what's the first thing you tell them?
I would say value to value, like understanding what your worth is to them and them seeing your worth and your work. Because I feel like a lot of times, especially as creators, like people, they think that it's something that can be done really quick. Like, oh, hey, finish this photo shoot real quick or finish this video. So I think showing that value through what you've already done and just helping people see like, you're going to get what you pay for, right? I'm not going to go sell an art piece for $100 and it's going to take me 30 hours to do, right? So I think it's having that specific conversation with your client to helping them realize like, hey, this is my value and what makes sense to you and how can you understand me as a creator? So
give me like a real-time example because that sounds all like sort of like conceptual. Like if I was trying to hide you and you just told me that, I'd be like, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, so I'd say, I just had this experience with a company. So I went freelance like this last month. This company wanted me to go film for them, and then they wanted to do like a contract for the month, right? So I'm big on that, right? So if you want to hire me out, okay, let's talk numbers, let's talk specifics. Like,
sure,
how many videos do you want? When do you need them by? What's the payout? And the struggle that I had with them was they're trying to go super cheap on what I felt like my worth was, and then the amount of work was just kind of unreliable. So it didn't make any sense to do it. And it was a hard conversation I just had to have where I could have accepted that dollar amount, and I could have been paid, it was still decent money.
Sure.
But for what my worth was, I didn't want to do it. So I think that's a hard thing, is just telling sometimes the clients no, even though you're like, oh, that could be really good as far as the money for me. But it's just helping them see that and then just doing that more and more. That's anything in life, right?
Sure.
As you get better, your worth goes up, and helping that client understand that.
I feel you. I remember hearing an example once, and this sounds like it would apply to what you guys do in video. And I'll use my own podcasting kind of pricing and structure as the backdrop of this. When we go into a market, there's certain things that we could charge and that we provide that are individual to our expertise, right?
Right.
So like for me, like as a podcast consultant, like I don't know of anybody else that does things the way that I do, which has proven in the client list that I have. I've got a who's who of clients, and the work that we do and what I provide. Like my consultants, and I'm expensive. Like my value is high, and so is the cost. And so if you're going to start a new podcast with me, it's something where like my price is high enough to where I know that you're committed. And you also know that I know what I'm doing because I have this list of results from all the other people that I've helped. So that is a customizable sort of value add. That's they're paying access to me and all of the things that I've learned and all of the lessons that I've had and all of the successes that I know how to shortcut to and all the hacks and everything. Like I know how to just really, the phrase is collapse time. Like I can make it really short to get you to success, right? Then there's other products that I offer. So like, for example, we do episode production. If you come to me as a new podcasting client and you already have a show and you're wanting just me to produce your episodes, that price is, anywhere between $75 per episode all the way up to $1,000 per episode, depending on what sort of additional things that you want.
Right.
That to me is me selling a Snickers bar. Like $75 an episode for just, simple production and upload and a simple write-up or whatever is pretty much the standard in the industry. You can find them as cheap as $40. You can find them as expensive as $150. Like at that point, it's like, well, what are the other add-ons to this experience? Like I'm never going to get away with charging $500 an episode because I do it to anybody because it's a commoditized transaction. They can take that service and they know there's all these other service providers that can provide that same service. So what's the value per money? And then if it's less expensive, what is the drawback for that? Meaning, does it take longer? Are you less responsive? If it's higher, do I get increased times? Like, do I get a nicer touch and feel as a client? And so there's that aspect of it too. So like when I take on new clients there, like I've kind of learned where the sweet spot is. So like, look, we're in the ballpark of where we should be as far as like everybody else, but the difference that we give on top of that is X, Y, and Z. So when it comes to video, it's the same thing. Like you guys can undercut everybody in exchange for what? It's going to take longer. You're not going to give as much time and attention to it because you don't make any money. Or you can charge a bunch and people get access to your creative space because they want a certain vision. They're not just looking for a reel. They're looking for a certain type of reel. They're not just looking for a video that explains your origin story. They're looking for a certain feel. It's like when you look at guys like, for example, Jeremy Finlay. You know Jeremy.
Yep.
That guy's made millions and millions of dollars doing what he calls sales-umentary pieces, where he'll like spend months with a client filming all that stuff and then creating a origin story piece that makes it so that it's so easy for you to sell your high-ticket stuff. So that's clearly you're paying not for all the video guys, you're paying for his vision. Right. So how do you then, as a big buildup, but how do you then figure that out for you when it's like, well, I'm going to charge this much for a reel if somebody wants to do it, or this is the scope of the vision. This is much. Have you figured that out yet for yourself?
Still learning for sure.
Okay.
I think it's a continuous, ongoing thing as a creator. There's always something new. There's always some more value that you could add to it, and there's always growth, right? So I think it just depends, but it is that what you said at the end of helping them see your vision, right? You can go and, I could create a video for you real fast, whatever. It could be that, that hype video that you're trying to get done or whatever.
Wait till the end, bro.
Yeah, wait till the end of it. Wait till the end of the video. That's the hype. Yeah, so I think it's you got the two sides of it, right? So you can create something, just get it done, or it's a trend, whatever. But I think helping them see that vision, when you can sit down with a client and be like, "Hey, this is what I think based off of what you're kind of telling me. This is what I feel like I could create," right? Like when we sat down, we talked about this piece.
Yeah.
I kind of knew about you, what your thing was, and I was like, "Hey, I have this idea. What do you think?" And we kind of discussed that, and it made sense to where you wanted me to do it and I wanted to do it because it was for you specifically. So
Right.
I think if you take that to your clients and helping them see that value towards whatever they might want, whether you want to be naked on your podcast, or whatnot, and you help people see that, then that's where the value and the price, it doesn't matter. Then like, okay, cool. This guy's gonna provide X amount of value for me based off of what I need. And so then that's not gonna be an issue.
So do you look at it, though, that there's certain things that you offer that are commoditized? Where you're like, dude, I can do a reel for this amount of money and I can do a video for this amount of money. Or if you want it to be, a certain vision, I'm going to charge you way, way more. Those two parallel things that I had talked about.
Yeah. So I think it just, for like prices, is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So to
What
an
I'm
extent,
basically trying to do is I'm trying to like kind of have a conversation so that other creatives out there that might
Right.
not have considered, like it's a legitimate business.
Yeah.
Like you could make
is.
the most fantastic video
Yeah.
and nobody paid for it, or you undercut yourself or whatever, and then you even look at your own product and you're like, that sucks because you didn't get paid for it. So I just wanted to make sure that like the creatives out there know that like you absolutely have to look at your business as a business.
Yeah.
You have to look at your expressions and your results and the things that you create, whether it's art, whether it's music, whatever. It's valuable, and you got to figure out how to charge for it.
Right. Yeah. And again, I think that's for me, just because I was so set in stone with like one price of what I was getting paid for what I was doing with someone, to where now it's like with art, I've done it a little longer. I kind of know the prices on sizes and what you want. As far as in the creative space of like film photography, I'm still like learning that aspect too. But I think the biggest thing that I learned in like door-to-door sales is not being afraid to present that price. Because a lot of times people may have a price and they've been doing it for a while, but then they know that they've gotten better, they have more to offer to the client, and their scarcity kind of jumps into play of like, I don't know if I could charge that. I don't know if, they're going to say no or yes, or what the turnaround will be for that. So I think it's holding your value and presenting it to them in a confident way and knowing that, this is my value to you. And just, you hope that you'll get in return that price and you'll start.
Well, and if they
working with
don't,
them.
move along.
Yeah. So for me,
Art is though different though, because it's like it's kind of like they'll pay you what it's worth.
Right.
Because you can offer a price, and if they go nah, and then you have to decide, well, okay.
Yeah. So the biggest thing for me, I always going like what I always ask people like, what's your budget too?
Yeah.
As far as on both things. And because I had a guy the other day tell me like, hey man, so I want like kind of like this size. I want this in my room. Like my budget's $100. And I was like, wow, it's like $100. And I didn't say it like that, but in my head I was
That's
like,
when you're like, dude, there's this really cool website. It's called Google. What you can do is you can type in whatever, click on the images
Order a
tab,
poster.
print it, and go to Alpha Graphics, and you got it, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
So I think it's just holding your value. Like I don't have like a set in stone answer as far as what my prices are, because everything it's all different. It all changes. But I think it's you holding your value and helping people see that. Like, hey, this is my price. This is what I can offer you. Okay, if it doesn't make sense, like what could we work out? And if it doesn't, then like you said, you move along. You find your space of people that will pay you that. What your worth is.
I love that. So what's your next step? Like what's your goals right now?
My goal this next year is I want to do more of this. I want to get on the other side. Like I want to create as well, but I also want to help other creators that are up and coming as well and helping them see their worth. And,
how are you going to do that?
So I'm in the creators like group chat through social media. There's a bunch of us, and we've been talking a lot about like coaching events for creators, like out of state, in state, where a few times a year we get all the creators together and we kind of do a coaching event in the sense of different film photographers, artists, bringing models on, going out and doing, test shoots. So that's a big goal that I have next year is to be a part of that. Kind of a coaching event for creators.
Okay.
So
You should do a podcast.
personally,
Yeah.
I've thought about it. I don't know. Just need to do it.
Right on, dude.
Yeah.
We got some current events, man.
Well, we did, but you covered a few of them. So
That's okay. Let's keep diving in, man.
We have one good one. It's gonna be out of left field.
Okay.
So this happened in China yesterday. There was a lottery winner that won $30 million.
Okay.
And he showed up in a mascot suit because he didn't want his wife or his children to know that he won the money because he didn't want them to become rich and lazy. How do you feel about that?
Become what?
That's
Rich and
so
lazy?
Rich and
gangster,
lazy.
dude.
Damn. That's
Okay, so
funny.
let me make sure I understand. So
don't want his kids
So a Chinese dude won $30 million,
$30 million.
and when he had to go like claim it, he put on like a mascot, like a furry,
Yeah, a mascot suit, like a baseball mascot suit.
and he said he didn't want his wife and kids to know he won it.
Yep.
That's so gangster, dude. That guy's my new hero, man. That's the best idea I've heard all day. You win because
keep
right
low
now,
key.
dude, right now the lottery's at like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like technically speaking, if one of us to buy a ticket, we'd have a chance. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like a sperm's chance towards hitting the egg type level because it's cajillion to none. But
Yeah.
that's awesome. Like I wonder where he got that idea. He's like sitting around his like work buddies. Does his work buddies even know? Like
It doesn't say.
Just rolled up in.
they're like, hey Chen, why do you need the fucking baseball suit? Don't ask, man.
Don't ask.
No, for real, you need. And I wonder if anybody figured it out. Wait. He rented the baseball suit right at the time that the guy showed up on the news claiming the I know it is at the fucking. He's got like
so
journalists
random.
on town on.
That's a genius. That's genius thinking.
That's a
right
good
there.
move, dude. I like that move.
Because then you're never gonna know. The guy next to you could be a billionaire. Millionaire. Like you don't. You
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
guy's 30 million. Like that's. And in China, I bet you they take way more than half because they're like
Yeah.
legitimately a communist country.
Well, I'm just saying in that, like you covered yourself up, but it's like you never know.
You do never know.
Like,
I'm thinking
really,
about
like-
this, dude. I'm thinking about this from the detective standpoint of things. Like,
Yeah.
in your mind, how would you figure that out? You're like, okay, so that guy rented that suit somewhere. Where do they rent those suits? Okay. They rent the suits here. And then
This
I go
guy.
talk to, ABC's baseball costume store or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, do you
Was
have
this the
this
guy?
suit? Do you know? Or you're the clerk at the ABC baseball costume suit store.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait. We just rented that suit. It's just
I was talking to that guy.
this guy just turned around. Hey, bro, were you? I think I saw you on TV. No, you didn't see me. Are you sure? No, I'm sure.
That would cost you.
Shut the fuck up. That's dope, dude. I'll take it.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna use that next time.
The baseball suit.
No, just the idea. I'm gonna do it in a furry costume. Like get
Furry.
get like a rabbit or something.
Not like an elf costume or something.
No, what elf costume? No, dude. There's no. Well, I
I'm
guess.
just going back to your jokes.
Yeah, my jokes. Hairy feet and flying on dragons and stuff.
Elf on a dragon.
An elf on a. Dude, that's one of the beefs I have with Lord of the Rings, man. Because,
Yeah.
for us diehards that read the books and enjoy those movies,
I wasn't one of those guys.
yeah, I can tell. You barely can read, bro. I'm just kidding.
Dude, why do you think I paint?
I know. You're like, this is how you spell the word? No, I'm kidding, obviously. But
Hey, well,
Gandalf's
Still
flying
make great
around on a
money.
dragon in the third movie. You remember this? You probably don't.
Maybe.
Am I talking to a room full of people? You guys know what's up, dude. Gandalf's flying around on dragons, right? Remember this at the end of the Lord of the Rings movie, The Return of the King? Hey, bro, have Frodo just pop on there and then just do a little drop off of Mordor, man. Get rid of that stupid ring super easy. The movie's 20 minutes long. Nobody dies. Everybody wins. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They just had to make it dramatic.
Dude, I feel like I'm talking to a room of people that don't understand what I'm saying right now.
No, I know what it is, but, wasn't a diehard. Very long, extended movie, for sure.
I forget, you're young enough that you were probably like 10 years old when that thing came out.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say it was eagles, not dragons, but
Even better, dude. Fly away on the eagle,
He's
man.
not a diehard. Look at him. He's so stuck in the dragons, man.
Dude, well, I've been watching House of the Dragon, like the Game of Thrones thing.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's dope. You watching it?
Not all of it, but I've seen some, yeah.
Shut up, dude.
Dude, I'm not a big like TV show guy.
Oh, here it goes. The creative that makes TV doesn't watch TV. Hey.
It's because I'm making my own,
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
right? I'm a movie guy, but as far as like TV shows, it's because I get sucked into them, and then I end up
See,
binge
I
watching
call
for
bitch-
like.
dude, I call bullshit on that, and I'm gonna ask you a single question that's gonna show you why that's bullshit.
Why is it bullshit?
If you're making that shit and not watching that shit, could you imagine being a pornographer that doesn't watch porn? You can't. Doesn't happen,
Yeah.
dude. So hey, maybe you should watch more TV and film, my man.
I watch movies.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I watched the movie that you told me to watch.
We Are Your Friends.
Oh,
It's a great
bomb.
movie. Little Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Whatever you say her
Yeah.
name is.
Yeah.
Ratatatatatatatatowskis.
Long standing last name.
And
Yeah,
then it's got the
it was a cool movie.
the Hunger Games guy in it.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's about an EDM up and coming EDM artist.
Yeah, that scene that you were talking about with the astronaut.
Yeah.
Like, would they take psychedelics or something?
PCP.
PCP? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Not a drug I would recommend using,
Yeah, I don't.
having never used it myself.
yeah, I don't plan to.
Yeah. When you told me that you enjoyed that movie so well, I was like kind of putting myself in the framework of like watching it as a 25-year-old guy.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing with his friends and like them feeling like, dude, are we ever going to do anything noteworthy? And like that whole sort of,
Yeah.
struggle of like relevancy.
Well, dude, that was the main thing because it's like they're like same age,
Yeah.
It's that thing in your life where you're like, am I ever gonna get out of it, or am I ever gonna become something
Right.
so great?
Yeah. I mean, that's
Right.
the quintessential like question. That's what we do this for. Is like we want greatness. Or we did at one point and we either gave up or there's still that burn and we just don't know how to
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whether it's achieved through expression or through making money or through fame or whatever. Like it's
Right.
such a mind fuck, dude.
Like that's my biggest thing with art, man, because it's so like expressive as far as taking a blank canvas and making something from it,
Dude, I remember reading a quote, I think it was by Picasso. And he talked about how at a certain point your art is no longer yours. That like if you commission a painting for me, the process of that creation is yours.
Right.
And then once it's done, you're done. Like it's no
So,
longer
yeah.
your art, it's the world's.
Right.
And its beauty or ugliness, its relevancy, its impact is no longer on you. You have zero say at that anymore. I was like, that's kind of crazy to think about because of how internally intimate it is to create that. Like it's hard, it's sweat, it's tears, it's like you're frustrated, you're loving it. It's like this the pendulum of emotions while you're in it, creating. And then just at a certain point be like, well, fly away.
It's
Not
not
mine
there.
anymore.
But it's what you learn from it. I feel like that's the coolest part, right?
Yeah.
It's a mix of emotions from it, and it's how you handle it and what you do to fix it.
Yeah.
Because
Love
like
it.
for example, like your piece, the cigars, like that shit wasn't easy.
Sure. Yeah.
Like it was stripping pieces of cigars apart and then trying to get it to stick in its tiny bits and pieces to
Yeah.
make it work out, right? And I was like fresh as fuck when I was like, oh my God, bro. Like I had this idea, I presented it, but it turned out really cool. But that's the name of the game. It's with anything. You
Yeah,
know?
dude.
You're gonna have your ups and downs. And
Well, I liked it so much I commissioned another piece with you. So
boom, let's go.
stoked about it, man.
Let's go.
Can't wait for it to.
I'm excited for this next one.
Me too, dude. Fucking get on it.
Oh, it's going, man. Dude, after that movie, I was just like, my mind just went everywhere
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
with the art.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
You got any other any current events?
Well, kind of along the same lines as the cost of art. And this is old, but you know who Beeple is, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about his artwork the NFT that sold for close to $70 million?
His stuff is crazy good, dude. And it's always like
spent
super
years.
relevant too.
Years on that shit.
Yeah. Beeple seems to be like this generation's like Banksy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the NFT space is wild. Like
Yeah.
wild with how many like crazy crypto millionaires there are that would up a value of something like that that's not real money to them. And then, you know, so what I say about Beeple and what he's been able to do, good on him. His work is undeniably good.
Yeah.
Even if you don't vibe on it. Like, you're like, dude, this is next level. It's great stuff. But he's, I first learned of that guy from, we're listening to Rogan. And,
Yeah.
does anybody know who he is? Does he have like a, because I know like for a while nobody knew who Banksy was, and he was.
Yeah, they didn't know.
I think they know who he is. Like he's been on a couple shows and.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm stoked for him to be able to do that, man. Like that still is a space that like even though I'm invested in it, like I own NFTs and things, like I don't really get it. I mean, I get the supply and demand thing of it, and I get the positioning of it, and when it's connected to certain like stable coins and things, and that's all good. But
So it sounds like you understand it.
well,
To an extent.
it's even I can regurgitate that stuff, but like I don't. It's not like I'm like could do a class where I'm like, hey guys, let's talk about NFTs.
NFTs, yeah.
First of all, we're not going to fungible this. It's a non-fungible. Like that sounds like it. What doesn't get fungus on it or something?
Yeah. It's so different for me because I've always done, the physical, create the piece.
Well,
give it
dude,
to
you
the
can
client.
still do physical arts and then digitize it and have that become.
Dude, I just haven't. I own a few NFTs. I just haven't learned much about it, to be honest.
I bought my daughter an iPad to get her to do more digital art because she's ridiculously good.
Oh, really?
And now all she does is play video games on that iPad.
Oh.
So I think as far as like, if that experience was an NFT, I lost money on it.
Yeah, I lost a lot of money.
I didn't get that NFT. So any more? Are we good?
I think that's it.
We're good? Okay. Well, Mr. Robby Ferrell, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Appreciate it, man.
I love your stuff, man. I'm excited to watch you grow and everything. I'm really looking forward to this new piece. Where do people find you, man?
Instagram right now. I'm building a website right now, so it's in the works.
Okay. So what's your handle on IG?
At b.igRob21. So Big Rob.
Big Rob 21.
Make sure you add that dot after the B. Someone already took the Big Rob.
B.IG. Okay.
I'm the real Big Rob, just saying. So,
That's what I heard, dude.
yeah.
I mean, I was out on the street and I'm like, yo, I'm looking for Big Rob. And
They're
they were
like,
like, talk to
yo.
the guy with the white dreads. So, sorry, the cornrows.
Yeah, cornrows, man. Dreads
The guy
different.
that,
That's
the
different.
guy that's, it's the guy that's like that.
You're thinking
that-
of Scott Travis.
No, it's that guy that's the Post Malone song. White Iverson, that guy.
Yeah. White Iverson.
White Iverson. All right, anyway.
Love it.
So, my friends, thanks so much for watching and listening to the show. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little ding bell so you get the notifications. We're putting a lot more attention towards our YouTube. If you're willing, please go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star rating and review. Share it with your friends. Hope you had a good laugh. And go follow Big Rob and get some of his art, too. I think that's it, man. We're out of here. Just stand up.